Namaste बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया. A very good morning to you all. Myself, JVN Dr. Ravi Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Practice of Medicine and Faculty of Homeopathic Science at Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. In this series of lecture, we will be discussing about the various endocrinal diseases. And today, we will be discussing about the thyroid disorders. What are thyroid disorders? How the thyroid metabolism takes place. So about the normal anatomy of the thyroid gland and the functioning of the thyroid gland related to the production of T3, T4, TSH, all this you have already studied in your first year. So it will be your homework to go through the anatomy and the physiology. It is also mentioned in your book, the book of practice of medicine. So you have to go through all these things so that we do not have to repeat these things in the video lectures. So it's your homework to go through the anatomy, the normal anatomy and the physiology of the thyroid gland and try to understand the various disorders. So the disorders of the thyroid gland can be divided into two varieties. It can be due to the deficiency of thyroid hormone or the excess of thyroid hormone. So if the thyroid hormone production is not proper, then it is known as hypothyroidism. And if there is excessive production of the thyroid hormone, it is known as hyperthyroidism. So there are two conditions, two disease conditions about which we will be discussing. So today, in today's lecture, we will be discussing about the hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism will be completed into 2-3 lectures. So let's try to understand what is hypothyroidism, and I will also be giving you a brief review of the normal structure, normal functioning of the thyroid gland. So the details you have to see, but I will only be doing a little bit of revision of those things that you need to do. So thyroid gland, it produces basically two types of hormones. Two hormones are produced by the thyroid gland. That is thyroxine T4 and triiodothyronine T3. So T3 and T4 are produced by the thyroid hormone. How these hormones are produced, which gland in the body that acts as a master gland and that controls the production of T3 and T4. This you have to study from the endocrinology chapter of your first year physiology book. So the thyroid gland produces two hormones. One is the thyroxine, that is T4, and the second one is the triiodothyronine, that is the T3. The important functions of the thyroid hormone includes the cell differentiation during the development. So the thyroid hormone is important, or it is having the function of cell differentiation during the development. It helps in maintaining the thermogenic and metabolic homeostasis in the adults. So the thyroid hormone, it is responsible, or it helps in the cell differentiation during the development. It maintains thermogenic or metabolic homeostasis in the adults. The thyroid word is derived from the Greek term that means thyros. It is a shield, and eidos means form. So thyroid gland is basically a gland that is in a form of shield that protects us from various things. So thyroid gland is very important for us, and it is having very important functions. One of the important function is the cell differentiation during the development, and it also helps in maintaining the thermogenic and metabolic homeostasis in the adult individuals. In the thyroid gland, there are two lobes basically that are connected by the isthmus. So we have two lobes connected by the isthmus, and it is located anterior to the trachea. So the thyroid gland is located anterior to the trachea. There are two lobes of the thyroid gland that are connected by isthmus, and it is located between the cricoid cartilage and the suprasternal notch. So we have cricoid cartilage, we have suprasternal notch. At this particular point, the thyroid gland is located. Now, what is the size and shape of the thyroid? The normal size of the thyroid gland is around 12 to 20 grams. So thyroid gland is weighing around 12 to 20 grams in a normal adult, and it is a highly vascular organ or a gland. So thyroid gland is basically highly vascular, and it is soft in consistency. So if you try to feel this thyroid gland, then you can easily feel the movement of the thyroid gland. It is highly vascular and soft in consistency. There are two lobes that are connected by the isthmus. All right. So located between the cricoid cartilage and the suprasternal notch. Now the recurrent laryngeal nerve, it traverses the lateral border of the thyroid gland. So the recurrent laryngeal nerve is transversing the lateral border of the thyroid gland, and the thyroid gland develops from the floor of the primitive pharynx. So it is developing from the floor of the primitive pharynx during the 3rd week of gestation. The developing gland, it migrates along the thyroglossal duct to reach its final location in the neck. So the thyroid gland, it is developing from the floor of the primitive pharynx during the 3rd week of gestation, and the developing gland is migrating along with the thyroglossal duct to reach its final destination in the neck. Now, there are various autoimmune diseases of the thyroid gland. It can stimulate overproduction of the thyroid hormone. So because of certain autoimmune diseases, there can be different disorders or certain disorders of the thyroid gland, which includes overproduction of the thyroid thyroid hormone, that is known as thyrotoxicosis. Or there can be, because of the autoimmune condition, there can be destruction of the thyroid gland. And this will lead to the development of the hormonal deficiency that will be seen in case of hypothyroidism. There can also be benign nodules and various forms of thyroid cancer that are relatively common. So thyroid cancers are also very common. So there can be 3 conditions. One is excessive production of the thyroid hormone, that is known as thyrotoxicosis. Next is the destruction of the thyroid gland, that is hypothyroidism. And benign nodules and various forms of thyroid cancers that are relatively common. So today we are going to start with the hypothyroidism. What is hypothyroidism? What are the different causes of hypothyroidism, types of hypothyroidism, and the symptoms of hypothyroidism with the diagnosis, and also autoimmune hypothyroidism. So all the things about hypothyroidism we are going to discuss today. So what is hypothyroidism? Hypothyroidism, it is a common condition of, with the various causes. So hypothyroidism is basically a common condition and it is associated with various causes. But most common cause is the autoimmune disease, that is Hashimoto thyroiditis, that we are going to see. And thyroid failure following iodine 131 or surgical treatment of thyrotoxicosis that accounts for 90% of the cases. So in hypothyroidism, it is a common condition with various causes. So hypothyroidism is occurring, it is a common condition and it is having various causes. But autoimmune thyroiditis, that is the Hashimoto disease, Hashimoto thyroiditis, and the thyroid failure following iodine 131 or surgical treatment of thyrotoxicosis, it accounts for around 90% of the cases of hypothyroidism. Now, what are the different causes of hypothyroidism? So the causes of hypothyroidism can be classified into 3 varieties. We can have primary hypothyroidism, we can have secondary hypothyroidism, and we can have transient hypothyroidism. So transient is a condition when it is occurring for a very small interval of time or short period of time. So causes of hypothyroidism can be divided into 3 varieties: primary, transient, and secondary hypothyroidism. Next, we come to the primary hypothyroidism. What are the different causes of primary hypothyroidism? Primary hypothyroidism is a disease that is occurring from a very beginning, and it is directly thyroid gland is responsible for the development of such disease. It is not due to any other disease or any other organ involvement. So primary hypothyroidism can be of different types, which includes autoimmune hypothyroidism. There is iatrogenic cause, drugs, congenital hypothyroidism, iodine deficiency, and infiltrative disorders. So in the primary hypothyroidism, which includes various causes like autoimmune hypothyroidism is due to the Hashimoto thyroiditis or atrophic thyroiditis. Iatrogenic hypothyroidism is due to iodine 131 treatment or with subtotal or total thyroidectomy. There can be, it is also responsible for external irradiation of the neck for lymphomas or the cancer. There are different types of drugs, which includes antithyroid drugs that are responsible for development of primary hypothyroidism. Congenital hypothyroidism with absence or ectopic thyroid gland with dyshormonogenesis and TSHR mutation. Other cause of primary hypothyroidism is the iodine deficiency, if it is deficient in the diet. And there are also various infiltrative disorders, which includes amyloidosis, sarcoidosis, scleroderma, and Wedel's thyroiditis. So in autoimmune thyroiditis, we have Hashimoto thyroiditis and atrophic thyroiditis. With iatrogenic, we have iodine 131 treatment, subtotal or total thyroidectomy, or external irradiation of the neck for lymphoma or cancer. In the drugs, we can have antithyroid drugs. There are also congenital hypothyroidism, which includes absence or ectopic thyroid gland, dyshormonogenesis, TSHR mutation, There can be iodine deficiency and infiltrative disorders like amyloidosis, sarcoidosis, scleroderma, and Wedel's thyroiditis. Next variety is the transient hypothyroidism. Transient hypothyroidism means that there is a condition of hypothyroidism for a very small interval of time or short interval of time. It is seen with the silent thyroiditis that includes postpartum thyroiditis. There can be subacute thyroiditis. This we are going to discuss because you are getting a short note on subacute thyroiditis. So in the transient phase, we have silent thyroiditis. We have subacute thyroiditis. There can be withdrawal of the thyroxine treatment in the individual with an intact thyroid and after iodine 131 treatment or subtotal thyroidectomy for the Graves' disease. So the transient thyroiditis, hypothyroidism, is seen with silent thyroiditis that includes the postpartum thyroiditis. We have subacute thyroiditis. There is withdrawal of the thyroxine treatment in the individual with intact thyroid and after iodine 131 treatment or subtotal thyroidectomy for the Graves' disease. The secondary hypothyroidism, it is due to hypopituitarism. That can be due to the tumors, the pituitary surgery, or irradiations with infiltrative disorders like Sheehan syndrome and trauma. So secondary hypothyroidism can be due to the hypopituitarism or hypothalamic states diseases. In the hypopituitarism, we have the tumors, pituitary surgery, or irradiations with infiltrative disorders like Sheehan syndrome and trauma. Hypothalamic diseases are due to the tumors, trauma, infiltrative disorders, or it can be idiopathic. Now, what are the symptoms, signs and symptoms of hypothyroidism? First of all, we will be discussing about the symptoms and then the signs of hypothyroidism. So in the symptoms of hypothyroidism, there will be symptom of tiredness and weakness. The patient can complain of tiredness and weakness with the dry skin. So there can be tiredness, weakness with the dry skin. The skin becomes dry and there is a feeling of coldness on the extremities. There can be hair loss with difficulty in concentration or poor memory. So the patient can complain of tiredness and weakness with dry skin, the feeling of cold with hair loss and difficulty in concentrating and poor memory. The patient can also complain of constipation with weight gain and poor appetite. There can be dyspnea and hoarseness of the voice. In the females, they can complain with menorrhagia at the beginning and later oligomenorrhea and amenorrhea. And there can be paresthesias and impaired hearing. So the symptoms of hypothyroidism includes tiredness and weakness, dry skin, feeling of cold, hair loss, difficulty in concentration and poor memory. There can be constipation, weight gain with poor appetite, dyspnea, hoarseness of voice, menorrhagia, and later on oligomenorrhea and amenorrhea, paresthesia, and impaired hearing. There can be certain signs of hypothyroidism which you can observe, which includes dry, coarse skin. The skin will become dry and coarse, that is thick. There will be cool peripheral extremities. The face will be puffy with hands and feet. So there will be puffiness of the face, hands, and feet that includes the myxedema. There can be diffuse alopecia. The patient can complain of the bradycardia with peripheral edema. There can be delayed tendon reflex and carpal tunnel syndrome can be seen, and there can be serious cavity effusions. So in the signs, we can have dry, coarse skin. There can be cool peripheral extremities, puffy face, hands and feet. There can be diffuse alopecia, bradycardia, that is decrease in the heart rate. Peripheral edema can be there. There can be delayed tendon reflex, relaxation, carpal tunnel syndrome, and serous cavity effusions. Now, there is another condition which includes congenital hypothyroidism. Congenital hypothyroidism, when the hypothyroidism is occurring by birth. So congenital hypothyroidism, it occurs in around 1 in 4,000 newborn babies. And the cause of the congenital hypothyroidism, it is due to the thyroid gland dysgenesis. If the thyroid gland is not developing properly since birth, then it can lead to the congenital hypothyroidism. It is seen in around 80 to 85% of the children. Inborn errors of the thyroid hormone synthesis can be seen in around 10 to 15% individuals, and there can be TSH-resistant antibody that is mediated in around 5% cases. So congenital hypothyroidism can be due to the thyroid gland dysgenesis, inborn errors of thyroid hormone synthesis, and TSH are mediated, antibody mediated. Now, what are the clinical features of congenital hypothyroidism? In the congenital hypothyroidism, majority of the infants are normal at birth because of the thyroid hormone that the baby is getting from the mother. But there will be prolonged jaundice and feeding problems with hypotonia, enlarged tongue, delayed bone maturation, and umbilical hernia that will be seen. So in such cases, there will be prolonged jaundice, feeding problems, hypotonia, enlarged tongue, delayed bone maturation, and umbilical hernia. Now, how to diagnose a case of congenital hypothyroidism? In such cases, neonatal screening program is based on the measurement of TSH or T4 levels by heel prick blood specimen. So we can check for TSH or T4 levels in the specimen, and the specimen is taken from the pricking the heel of the child infant. The treatment is by T4 is instituted at a dose of 10 to 15 microgram per kg per day. So we are administering thyroxine, that is T4, to the child who is born with congenital hypothyroidism. Next variety is the autoimmune hypothyroidism. Autoimmune hypothyroidism is associated with a goiter that is known as Hashimoto's or goitrous thyroiditis. There can be minimal residual thyroid tissue that is known as atrophic thyroiditis. Other condition include subclinical hypothyroidism and clinical hypothyroidism or overt hypothyroidism. So there can be a condition of autoimmune hypothyroidism. It is associated with goiter that is seen with Hashimoto or goitrous thyroiditis. Minimal residual thyroid tissue, that is atrophic thyroiditis, subclinical hypothyroidism, and clinical hypothyroidism or overt hypothyroidism. So this is all about today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will be discussing more about hypothyroidism. So it's your homework to go through the book, and you have to check for all the things that I have told you to read and to consider. And I have also given a question in the e-notes that I have uploaded on the portal. So it's your homework to go through it, and you have to refer the e-notes as well. So this session is powered by Digital Version 2.0, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope the session is clear to you. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box and I'll try to resolve it. So this was all for today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.